call on inspiring women behind the success of a proudly family-run business. Ladies and gents, alam natin na favorite natin tong lahat, ang kanilang cheese rolls and semada hot chocolate. You know it, I do too. Ladies and gents, let's welcome the founder of Mary Grace, Miss Mary Grace Dimacali, with her daughter and the Vice President for Operations of Mary Grace, Miss Marian Ernestine Dimacali Calacyan. Hi.
Hi, Sarah.
How are you? Thank you so much for being here. Please
Thank you,
take a
Sarah.
seat. All right, how are you feeling this afternoon?
Excited?
Excited? Everyone is too, I'm just gonna jump to it. Like I said, I am a fan of the cheese rolls and the hot chocolate, and I can name the full menu, I tell you. But I guess for starters, ano po yung feeling that everyone here, okay, at least 95%, I am super confident, can say that we love Mary Grace. How do you receive that kind of, feeling, that compliment?
Very happy and full of gratitude for Mary Grace to be loved. Yes.
Actually, I just want to kind of chime in on that. What was the vision nung pinaka-beginning po? When you started Mary Grace, ano po ba yung pinaka-idea na, today's the day, gagawin ko na si Mary Grace?
Dream ko kasi na makalabas ng mga ensaymada mula sa oven at isabay with a hot cup of chocolate. Ganon ang vision. Yun.
Marian, is that something na experience nyo sa bahay? Is it a thing na parang, is it a family thing, tas shinare nyo na lang sa lahat?
Yes. Growing up, school break, no, summer, kailangan namin pumunta sa bakery, kailangan mag-roll ng dough, kailangan gumawa ng boxes, kailangan magbenta sa bazaar. So, naalala ko nung grade 4 ako, pag Saturday or Sunday, I didn't have weekends. I have to work in the bazaar. But that was one way for me to learn the value of hard work and the value of money.
Sobrang interesting. So, quick share. So, I also worked with my mom in our family business, and I know that it comes with a lot of ups, but also a lot of turbulence in between. So, I guess the question here is, how do you how do you work together? What are the dynamics? How do you resolve tougher moments? And yeah, okay, let's start with that. Maybe Miss Mary Grace first, and then Miss Marian.
Actually, mas maraming up rather than downs, no? Kasi para sa mga entrepreneur ko, katulad ko, I'm very happy I have a daughter as young as she is. Kasi they're very digitalized, they're very techy, and alam nila ang trends ng mga cakes o pagkain sa market. So it's really more up than a loss to have a daughter working with you.
I guess working with your mom, like you said, has ups and downs. But I think as the younger generation, you always think you're right, you know, but you have to also admit to yourself there is wisdom in what the first generation, especially the founders, know. There's so much wisdom there, and it will be your turn. But for now, it's your turn to learn. Yun muna. Yes.
Totoo, no? And the fact na, syempre, before you enter that company, the fact that it was already successful, there must be a lot to learn from that. And I guess the question for you, Marian, is, paano mo nababalance yung, because like what Miss Mary Grace said, you have a digital edge, you see the trends, you can see the data, but how do you balance na ito yung vision kasi ni Mary Grace, so ito yung founding values niya. How do we keep this intact, but at the same time, keep innovating, keep moving forward?
It can be a challenge for a brand like Mary Grace. You know, we're a tita brand. But I think it's all about being true to who you are. Eventually, you will also be titas. Everyone becomes a tita one day. And I think being a tita means being comfortable with who you are, getting to slow down, calm down. And so we have to balance it in such a way that we keep Mary Grace up to date. We still listen to what our market needs. You know, our menu has changed recently. We've added steak, salmon, we've added wine. So we're not afraid to venture and to try the trends.
And I think what's very interesting about it is, like you said, it's very versatile. So I have a 14-year-old sister, and Mary Grace is our place to be. So every time she
Thank
makes
you.
she makes palibre, she's like, Ate, I want to go there because I want the bangus, the fish, and then the rosemary rice, ganyan. And then, syempre nakikita ko nag-nod sila. Anong favorite niyo sa Mary Grace? I'm sure you can order your favorite, your staple, without looking at the menu, no? So we've talked about digitalization. In a bit, I do want to know how the pandemic has also affected Mary Grace and how you overcame that. Miss Mary Grace?
I'll take it, then you follow. Uh, we continued to be in the market. Hindi kami nagsara. Akala namin magsasara kami. So ang ginawa namin, we made ourselves available online. No? In the beginning, kami lang ang gumawa. Mahirap pala. So ngayon, we took aggregators into the business. Nandiyan na yung Grab, Food Panda, Picaroo, yes, among 4 others, no? Yes. So, we continued to reach out. And mabuti na lang, maganda yung response ano, ng mga nag-online.
Well, digitalization also means that Mary Grace customers are now talking to us more through TikTok, through Facebook, through Instagram. And so for a brand like us, we still have to keep our eyes and ears open. Digitalization also means it's so much easier for our team to learn. You know, there are e-platforms now. Training our staff happens over Zoom, over Google Meet, holding meetings. But it also means things move faster. The business, the feedback, and it also means we have to be on our toes all the time.
Ang galing. And like you said, for a brand like Mary Grace, the fact that you're able to stay on your toes and keep moving forward is a big win. So congratulations. Miss Mary Grace, this one's interesting, no? So it might be the first time a lot of people here are hearing it. When I was reading it also, sabi ko, wow, very interesting. But the letter spelling Grace daw po stands for the first letters in the names of your children, and not just the order of the letters per se, but the chronological order of kung kailan po sila sumali sa business. Is this correct? Can you tell us a little more about that? I like this chika.
Okay, di ba yung Grace, Grace. 5 ang anak ko. So bawat initial ng isa sa 5, no? Ang unang sumali ay ang G. Hulaan nyo, anong pangalan ang G? Kung mahulaan nyo, bibigyan ko kayo ng ensaymada. Punta tayo doon sa entrada. May Mary Grace sa entrance. Alam nyo ba yung G? Ha? O, ano? Gerald! Hindi. Hindi Gerald. Oh, second try, second attempt. Ha? Grace, ako yun eh. Ako yun. Oh, sorry. Third attempt. Gian. Good attempt, kaya lang hindi correct. No, ang G, ha? Sino? Baka nag-research na kayo sa internet, ha? Ano? Geneva. Ang ganda ng pangalan ni Geneva. Kaya lang hindi G yun. Hindi yung G. Wala akong Geneva. Kailangan ata mga anak pa ako. One last na lang para magising kayo, no? Ano yung G? Ayun. Ano? Ha? Sino yun? Sino nagsabi ng Gabriel? Ha? Saan siya? Ikaw ba yun? Honest to goodness? Okay. I'll meet you at the Mary Grace later. Gabriel. Siya yung unang sumali. Ang pangalawa, R. O teka, baka humaba na. Kaya na-narrate ko na lang. R was Rafael. Actually, siya nga talagang sumali ng pangalawa. Siya ang aming finance. A ang Adrian, lawyer namin yon. So HR siya. Si Kiara, nagtrabaho sa Unilever, no? At siya marketing namin.
Back.
Mian, did I force you?
No, no, she didn't force me. In fact, yung dalawa kong kapatid ang nag-invite sa akin. Thankfully,
Tumugon.
we all have our areas of expertise and we don't step on each other's toes. So,
So parang the question pala wasn't, how does it feel to work with your mom? It's how does it feel to work with your siblings?
yes, four siblings,
Yes.
right? All of us in the business. You have to have respect. So for those who are in a family business, the very core is respect. You have to trust in each other's strengths and also know your weaknesses, no? Hindi pwedeng pataasan ng ihe pagdating sa working with your siblings. You have to treat each other as a circle of trust. Because if you move with trust in that circle, you become a better team, no? There's more discussion, more communication. So I think that's the very core of how us siblings work together.
Zara, I like to add, ang bawat isa sa 5 anak ko may lakas, pero may kahinaan rin. Kaya lagi kong sinasabi sa kanila, pinupuno ng isa ang kahinaan ng isa naman. Ganun yon. So we are better together. Diba? O palakpak naman.
Ang galing ng Team Mary Grace. May audience impact pa po. I love it. I mean, given that everyone is very involved in the business now, Marian, question lang. What do you think is a lesson that is shared within your household na nag-overlap sa business na parang, it makes sense nga. Like, kunwari, may isa bang lesson that your mom always tells you at home or growing up, and then you still kind of hold on to it?
Okay, this is gonna sound a little bit cheesy, but I think my mom always taught us to work with the vision and the mission in hand. And that always, for us, what we do has to always be pleasing to God. So if you treat your people well, if you become a humble leader, a servant leader, that has overflowed to how we work in the company.
That is so beautiful. And the fact that your children, I believe, are aligned with it, that means talaga pong nag-transcend sa generation nila. No? Speaking of mission and vision, Miss Mary Grace, what was the vision for Mary Grace? And do you think na-achieve po natin yung pinaka-idea niya sa pinaka-beginning?
Oo. Ang vision ng Mary Grace ay maging tahanan. Yung goodness of home. Kasi ako po'y isang ina. Kaya lahat pong niluluto sa bakery o sa commissary, galing po sa aking talino bilang isang ina. No? Kaya the goodness of home, yun ang mission ng Mary Grace. Gusto namin maging tahanan para sa inyong lahat. Gusto namin mag-serve, gusto namin mag-delight, no, sa serbisyo at quality ng aming mga produkto.
And very fitting because it feels as if we come home nga, no? When we go to Mary Grace, down to the food that you serve, down to the people that serve you. Actually, best friends ko po yung mga Mary Grace BGC people. Lahat po sila first name basis kami. Hey, kakatawa. Alam pa nila po kung birthday ko. Meron pa po silang pag-gift. Ang cute nila. But anyway, Mary Grace has been in the industry for a bit and actually for a long time. I guess the question is, what are 3 secrets to your success that you would like to share to anyone who wants to get into the F&B business?
Simple lang eh. Yung 3, isa, huwag magmadali. Marami ba ditong mga nanay? Ayun. Kung mga nanay kayo, gawin niyo muna ang mga duties ninyo bilang isang ina sa tahanan. Kami sa Mary Grace, lumaki ang negosyo, lumaki din ang pamilya. Nung naging panahon na, tsaka ang Mary Grace ay naging isang formal na negosyo. Nagtayo ako ng kauna-unahang kiosk sa Glorieta at 5 years later, ang kauna-unahang cafe. Si Marian, nung ako'y nagbabazar, 10 years old siya. Nung ako'y serendra, Ilang taong ka na? 2006. College na siya. Kaya huwag kayo magmadali ha. Gawin niyo muna ang inyong mga duties bilang isang ina. Pangalawa, grit. G-R-I-T. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng grit? Yung grit ay katapangan, di ba? Sakripisyo, yung hindi kaagad-agad na di-discourage. Yun ang grit. Pangatlo, grace. Grace. Ibig sabihin, yung relasyon natin sa Panginoon. Kung wala ang Panginoon sa buhay natin, wala, empty ang ating mga achievements katulad ng isang negosyo. So tatlo po yun. Maghintay, to have grit, at to have God in your lives.
Patience, grit, and grace. Ayun po. We will keep that in our pockets so that we remember it, especially on rainy days. Ayan, Marian, question naman. Joining the family business, as you both have mentioned, you were the last one who jumped in on ship, right? Meron ka bang certain expectations that you had at the back of your head na, okay, pag sumali ako ng business, ng family business, this is how it's gonna be like, this is how it's gonna feel like. One, tama ba yung expectation mo? And number two, meron ka bang naging key learning from this whole experience?
Well, I grew up already in the business, so I kind of saw it growing up and growing. No, so what you expect of a family business, it really changes all the time. There are months where it is we're sailing smoothly, everyone is pleasing, we're reaching our targets, walang problema, and then there are days wherein the family is arguing, and that's normal. But I think one thing I learned as a family business is that the more you argue, but the more you come out of it together, the stronger the team becomes, you know. Because when you argue, and basta may respeto ha, hindi yung nag-argue na bastusan. When you argue and you discuss with each other, you learn more about your brother, you learn more about your sister, ganito pala yung hilig niya, ganito pala yung dreams niya. And so when you come out of that argument, you are actually stronger as a team. So I think for family businesses, that's what I carry on because it's not sunny every day.
Marian, do you remember our mission, or our vision mission? To be a family strong in times of adversity. Madami yon, hindi lang pandemic. Internally, tsaka externally. Yun.
And kitang-kita naman po natin because of the growth no, of the business. So yun po palang ang secret doon. It's being able to argue, but knowing how to argue so that you come out of it together. I think that's very crucial. Guys, take note of that answer kasi kakailanganin po natin yan in the future. Okay, we've got one last question for the both of you, right? It's Women's Month. We're here to celebrate the power of every woman, all the businesses that have been empowered and founded by women. My question here is, ano po ang role ng mga lalaki sa buhay natin? Diba? Para lumago yung negosyo so that we can thrive as women. Miss Mary Grace, you can start.
My husband is Hector, that's his name. Inhinyero siya, he's an engineer. So, bilang engineer, he has a lot of common sense. Kaya, ang inuulit-ulit niya sa akin ay yung to control quality in the company. So siya ang boses sa aking utak, That's my husband. So yun ang role niya. Kung hindi siya if he didn't walk along with me, walang Mary Grace.
I think the role of men, same as women, no? We have to support each other. There are weaknesses of women, strengths of women, weaknesses of men, and so I think we complement each other. We can work well together. One doesn't have to be higher. One doesn't have to be lower. Yeah.
Galing. So it's all about backing each other up and rooting for each other regardless. So once again, let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you, Marian and Miss Mary Grace. Ang galing-galing po talaga.